Finally, we get to do our day 10 video from Dr. Joe's special event in Cancun. We were trying to record this video about 5 to 10 times before in Playa del Carmen in Mexico, and it was just too loud. Now we are with our friends in Florida. We got to stay in their home, and it's really beautiful and quiet. Yeah, so we want to share with you about day 10, what we have experienced, the notes which we made, what we journaled about, and then also how we feel now after this retreat. Now that we are going back into our lives, it's already 2 weeks, I think, since the retreat. So we started the day with a walking meditation, a new one which Dr. Joe created called Walking Through Dimensions. It was a very magical walking meditation. And then we were having the last session with him. We didn't do a meditation anymore on day 10. We just had a healing later, but he was basically preparing us for going back into our own lives. He said, you have now a container of love, of energy, and you need to make sure that you don't leak it out, or definitely not too fast. And yeah. So the thing which was really valuable for me was something that I have heard him saying hundreds of times, but I never really understood it. And he always says, your body always follows the mind. So when we get up in the morning and we think of the coffee maker, the body will automatically follow us there. If we think of the shower, the body will automatically follow us there. And that's the same thing with creating our future. When we keep investing our attention, our awareness, our energy into a future reality that we want to experience, then our body will just naturally be drawn to that. The body will just follow the mind, our awareness, into that reality. Mm-hmm. And it works both ways, in positive or negative sense, right? You can also obsess about a negative scenario and the body will follow you there.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Joe also shared that individual is a representation of a whole, so it very much depends on all of us, how we are behaving, becoming, and how we are being, because this is what counts. This is our contribution to the whole. We send out certain signals, certain frequencies. We have certain bodies with a lot of electromagnetic field around us, and that's what is going to be sent to your surroundings, everywhere, because that's what you are contributing with. So it's very good to carry this thought with you, especially now during this Christmas season, because no matter what, you are always going to be you, and you are always responsible for your behavior, your reactions, and especially your inner reactions for yourself, which means how you behave towards your body, what emotions you feed them.
He also reminded us to keep renewing the model, keep thinking about the knowledge that we have learned, maybe reread the notes which we did. And for us, it's super helpful to create these videos because we can rewatch those videos because it's fresh now when we're sharing it with you. It's also for us, we can keep listening to it, and it's important because when we start to forget why we're doing it, then we do the meditations maybe anyways, but they just don't become that powerful anymore. We just don't believe anymore in that it works.
And also I had certain closing of a certain I was trying to formulate how would I behave towards a person who very much hurted my whole family, and who basically made sure that my family doesn't get again for Christmas together. And it's just because I made the decision to be for Christmas away. and because it's much more loving towards me to be away from drama and to be away. And so don't be sad if you are away from your family and from certain dramas, because you made decision for yourself. You decided that it's not loving to you for you anymore. And I was trying to make a sense out of it in my heart. And basically what I got answer about is that what I would, if I would face that person, I would tell him, or I would communicate energetically with that person that he basically behaved to me like he behaved, not very nice, very, very, very badly and disrespectful, even though my family opened arms to him and welcomed him. And I understood in that moment, when I tried to rehearse how would I behave, who I would be, that that person has to be with himself his whole life. And my family could just have like an episode. Hey, you hurt us, we solve it, we move on, and you have to be with yourself for your whole life. And honestly, in that moment, I felt so free, because I understand that person didn't mean anything bad to do to me. He just wants to hurt everybody around because he's very hurt. And he wants to be making everybody else feel miserable because he's feeling miserable inside. And you can't change it. I realized also I can't change anybody, but I can change my reactions and I can take care of myself. And you can do too.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like a big aha moment. You were
Yeah.
telling me this on the last day.
Yeah, I wrote it down, and it could help you to move on with some things in your life, that it's not your fault. People just make you feel miserable because they feel miserable, and they have to be with themselves. And it's freeing. You can much better forgive to them.
And it's a good point that you're making, because he also said that when you keep working on yourself and you keep opening your heart, you will just outgrow things.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that was bothering you your whole life, you will just outgrow being bothered by them. You just have compassion for them and understanding, and you can let it go. He says, like you outgrow an old shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with all the programs and emotions or drugs that we take. We just outgrow them.
He also played for us a movie which you can find on YouTube. It's called Ken Shaw. And maybe we can
I'll link it
down the description, so you can just look at how you, and be inspired a little bit. And also another question, or what you should think of after the retreat, or what we should think of, is how do I keep my heart open in my life? It's very important, because when we are having heart open, we are connected to the source, and we are basically guided by the source, and it's never wrong. Even though it seems like it, it's never wrong. So, and a lot of experiences in our life can close, or make us remember how close it could feel safe, or how safe it could feel when we are closed. And it's better to just really stretch to the point that that we stay open.
Yeah, that we are connected to pure love, to source, because the moment we are in pure love, the moment we are connected to source, we are there. There's all the knowledge, all the information is right there.
Mm-hmm.
In that present moment, in that blackness. And the moment we're connected to it, we are all possibilities. We are all potentials, whether future, past, or present. And that's where we create from.
Mm-hmm. And also, don't forget, or we should not forget, that body can amazingly renew itself. Just we have to give it good enough environment to be able to renew. You can't ask flower to bloom when she doesn't get sunlight, or when a flower doesn't get enough water. You also have to provide this. And also, it's the same for the body. You have to put it in a correct, very nice environment, not stressful, not drama all around you, not stressing if you have enough presents for your family, or if you deliver enough, if you're good enough. It's all stressful, and I learned that it's very good to be relaxed in the heart and awake in the brain, as Dr. Joe teaches. So remember that and tune into this energy. Just repeat to yourself, relaxed in my heart and awake in my brain. They connect, they make union, they become coherent, and then magic happens in your life.
He was speaking once more about the healing, because we were having our last healing that day. And he said that the condition of a person is irrelevant for wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
And sooner or later, wholeness is going to reflect it. When we just tune into wholeness and pure love, it's irrelevant whether that person has disease X or disease Y. It's just gonna reflect wholeness sooner or later if we keep doing it. And he said that his community, these healings are also offered from distance, and there are these coherence healing groups, and that they need so many healers, because they have tens of thousands of applications of people that would like to receive a healing, and that it's a really big honor when we can give this to somebody else. And
I hope also people who are applying for the healing, they are usually feeling very grateful for that.
yes.
And gratefulness is the feeling which we should worship in our life, which we should remember every single day, especially when you wake up in the morning and you can just walk to the bathroom and you can just make your tea or coffee or drink a glass of water, taste water, see around you. All these things we can be grateful for, and
Yes.
we'll talk about
That's
these.
what he also said, like that we walk around and we see the divine in everyone and everything, and the divine will show itself to us in infinite ways.
Mm-hmm. So also we can talk about it later when we prepare for the New Year's, that it's very important to remember, who do I want to be in this life? Who do I want to be today? And do I want to still react the same way? Because after the retreat, we did some walking meditations together, and my conditions, which I'm trying to also heal, it's badly formulated, trying to heal. You could never say I'm trying to heal, because you will be always trying to heal. So I just wanted to say that I'm now in a process of healing, and I remembered when I was extremely frustrated and it didn't work, the body didn't work the way I wanted it to work, because I thought it already will be resolved and so on. It was extremely frustrating, and the body after the retreat and so on can give a lot of troubles to people, because they get a lot of upgrades, the frequencies are changing, the patterns in the body are changing, the cells vibrate on a different frequency. Some people
It was intense what we went through.
Yeah. And also you don't sleep, you have a different schedule, you basically rush for eating and then you rush back to the ballroom.
It's so unnatural for the body and for the mind and for the heart that we are giving it that much presence.
Yeah. So maybe I shared it already in past videos, but I want to remember this because when I was reacting and I was desperate and I was feeling lost and, all these emotions, jealous that other people are okay and they are not even worthy of it, because I felt like I did so much work and I should be worthy of it, but I'm still working on my worthiness. It can be still better and better. I felt, wait a moment, I felt this feeling when I'm down and frustrated and depressed and I am just so much feeling like it's not fair. I felt it so many times. It's a victim mode, of course, but I also felt it so many times. And I asked my mind, is there anything else? Is there any other feeling I could feel? It gets boring for the soul to still feel the same emotions, and the soul wants you to wake up.
Dr. Joe also studied for some time people that had near-death experiences, and he was sharing about one particular lady who was saying that after she died, she was having like a view of her whole life, what she has done, and what she said was that what mattered the most at the end of her life was the how she contributed to another person's life, whose life she was able to change. That's what mattered the most. I think it's a really important message for us to
Did you want to say
remember.
the story? Do you remember the story?
Yes, so she had this scene when she was in the grocery store, and it was Christmas evening, and the lady in front of her was really rude and disrespectful to the cashier. And when it was her turn, she would just say, "Hey, thank you so much for being here on Christmas, and do you have family at home? Are you going to celebrate with them later? And yeah, that's so wonderful. I wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for being here." And then she saw how that woman was going home to her family, and they just have had a wonderful evening, and they were so happy.
She
and so
could have
grateful.
wonderful evening, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because of
that's
that,
what mattered the most.
that's
her.
what mattered the most. Because
Something so simple.
yeah, because if she would leave it like that after the treatment of the rude lady, the lady which was a cashier, she would go home and she would just subconsciously just pass it to her kids, and she would make the Christmas not very nice, even though you're trying to not do anything with it. When you are not super conscious of it and when you're tired, it can just the energy just moves from one person to another person. Your husband or your partner can come back home angry, and all of a sudden you're angry, then the child is angry, or anybody who is in that system is like having not very comfortable emotions. So it was very great, very nice, and that's actually what I do personally. When I am at the cashier, I always have a little mini chat with them and appreciate their work. Yeah.
They love it. Takes them out of their just robotic.
Yeah, they are considered as like a computers or something. Sometimes I think people don't even see them. So I was also working a lot of jobs before. So when I was a student and so on. And when I couldn't find a job, so I can understand from their perspective, and that's nice when you can give some nice compliment to somebody who doesn't even expect that you see them.
Yeah. And he said that when he's doing the work, he just always goes back to the basics. Like, he still asks himself every day, who do I want to be? Who do I no longer want to be? How do I no longer want to think, no longer want to act, no longer want to feel? And who I want to present to the world? Who do I want to be today? He asks himself this every day, and it's really good to have this intention before every meditation, because it gives it more meaning. And he also said that we should not wait on the couch until something happens, but to go out and demonstrate love, for example.
Mm-hmm. And if you are really good at something, or if you love to do something, just become really good in it, and you're going to contribute very, very much to everybody, because you do something what you love and you're good in it.
Yes.
Good at it.
Yes.
Good in
no
it.
matter what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No matter if you're a plumber or matter whatever.
Mm.
Yeah. That's all the notes that I have. These 10 days were really magical. It was really great to have this much time to be in meditation. I was a little bit surprised, I can say that as well, the last 3 days of the retreat. We were really prepared for Dr. Joe to stretch us a lot and to have a really intense schedule. But the last 3 days were very laid back. We did in the mornings always the walking meditations, which are pre-recorded. And then we had on day 8 and 9 live meditation and always a healing at the end of the day. And for us, it would have been also really cool to have, for example, one more pineal gland meditation, like the 4 to 5 hour meditation at 4 in the morning. But we also understand that for Dr. Joe, it's really intense because he's present the entire time and he wakes up even before 4 a.m. so he can do his meditations. But it was just the way it was, and it was really good retreat anyways.
So at the end of this video, I would like to tell you what we were told. You are not what you think you are. And enjoy that feeling, I guess, because it's very much our perception of ourselves is not what we think we are. Is everybody has different perception of us, and everybody is perceiving us through their filters, through their glasses, eyes, or I don't know how to describe it. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to experience in this lifetime.
And Dr. Joe events are only one part of it, and you can heal at home.
Absolutely.
You can do this work at home. It's enough if you read his books, if you connect to like-minded people. It's always amazing. You know, you don't have to do exactly this and pay expensive retreats and expensive hotels and travel across the world. You can really do it in the comfort of your home, and it's very positive, and people healed, created new rectums, created new thyroids, and I don't know what else they are now creating.
Without ever going to retreat.
Yes, without ever going to retreat. Have a good day.